I want to start today's video with something I wrote down. I texted it to myself. That's what I do sometimes when I'm out and on the go. Title of this little tidbit was Release It. It's the law of attraction in action. You need to release your desired outcomes and give them to God. What you cannot give up freely is not truly yours. Watch as the things that are truly meant to be come back to you as you go through this process. By no means is it an easy process. It requires quite a bit of grappling with thyself. Right. So let's unpack it, yeah? The best thing and example to explain what I just said is any sort of uncomfortable situation that you're going through. And if you're following along, I've been going through an injury for the last it's Tuesday now, for the last 9 days. So just been rehabbing my ankle, trying to get as much as I can out of every day in terms of rest and recovery, and just gaining that capacity back into that ankle so I can get back on the floor. And over the weekend, I was really like hung up on the fact that, wow, I might not be able to play this coming weekend. So 7 days ahead. And that felt extra devastating to me because I have family in town, and I got injured right before they came. So they're only here for a couple of weeks. So having that opportunity pass me by was something that I wasn't willing to like give freely to God. I wasn't willing to surrender that. I was telling myself that I was, and talking to people, talking to my loved ones, talking to my support crew. I knew in theory what is the right way for me to go about processing this mental, emotional obstacle. But in practice, it was difficult for me to do, and I had a lot of resistance within myself. So I think, after some time had passed, and, I just really kind of reiterated to myself that this is just something I've gone through a million times with an ankle roll. It's just, the fact of the matter is, it takes a week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just depending on the severity of it. And there's no shortcutting it. There's no way around a physical injury. You know what I mean? Your tissues need a certain amount of time to rest, regenerate themselves, repair themselves. And then you just need to go through that process of kind of pushing up against your pain threshold and just growing your capacity with every day. And I've only been back on court for 2 days now, but in that first day, which was yesterday, that spectrum of emotions that I experienced was like, I started the day down here and I ended up here. And I think it was because somewhere leading into the physical breakthrough of me actually moving around and realizing, I can do more than I thought I could through this pain, with this pain. There was a process of like surrendering and letting go of a desired outcome. And yeah, like I said, that's the law of attraction in action. So it makes sense in theory, but it feels so counterintuitive when you're trying to live it out and actually execute on it. And again, this is always universally applicable when it comes to, just wanting something, wanting to feel a certain way, wanting to obtain a certain thing. Then you introduce a bunch of different variables such as timeline. I want this by a certain date, or if I don't get this by a certain time, then it's going to affect this. And like I said just before, I know I've said like I said a million times already, but I was suffering this past weekend about the possibility of not being able to play the next weekend. And in doing so, I was already living out an undesirable future in that present moment. I was trying to live ahead, see past, see through. And I didn't at the moment see any way through. So it was hard for me to actually visualize and feel it in my body, what it would be like. What is it going to be like for me to actually experience less pain when I'm doing my rehab a few times a day and I'm constantly running up against that pain within my body. It's what is being reaffirmed to me as I do the rehab. All I can feel is, like, it fucking hurts when I do this movement. How is it not going to hurt? But in doing that, in trying to think about and fix that future outcome, future event, I was overlooking the progress that could be made today and the day after next. And I think it's funny the way that God winks at me sometimes, like just the little things. Like I just started reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle I don't know if that's how you say his name, but yeah, like I've only read the first few pages and you already get the essence that your whole life cannot be lived in one day. Sometimes, especially through hard times, you do need to just go through it one day at a time, be as present as you can, and introduce as much safety to your nervous system as possible. Yeah, just to kind of close it off, I wanna read back what I wrote. Release it. It's the law of attraction in action. You need to release your desired outcomes. Give them to God. What you cannot give up freely is not truly yours. I don't want to skip over that line either. What you cannot give up freely is not truly yours. Like, think about that. Watch as the things that are truly meant to be come back to you as you go through the process. By no means is it an easy process. It requires quite a bit of grappling with yourself. So yeah, man, these things are, when it comes to being more aware, being self-aware, it's all good and well in theory until the trigger comes and you just revert back to your normal systems. Your central nervous system, your body's intelligent. It acts off of what it thinks will keep you safe. And sometimes when you're trying to navigate pain, it's going to be in a conservative approach, mentally, physically, emotionally. So yeah, that's what I've been thinking about today. Hopefully you guys can think about what you're not able to give up freely. What are you struggling to give up control over? What situation in your life is that playing out in your life right now? So yeah, appreciate you guys taking the time. Peace.